Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to talk about strength, about resilience, about a woman who walks alone not because she has to, but because she chooses to. A woman with no husband, no protector in the eyes of the world, yet she moves forward with a fire inside her that refuses to die. Society has tried to tell her that she needs a man to be complete, that without one she's lacking, but she knows better. She knows that her worth is not determined by a ring on her finger or a last name that isn't hers. She stands tall, not because she's never fallen, but because every time she did, she got back up. This is about the woman who walks alone. Not in loneliness, not in despair, but in power. She is not waiting to be chosen. She is not hoping to be saved. She saves herself. She is the author of her own story, the ruler of her own destiny. She is the woman they whisper about, the one they don't understand, the one who defies the expectations set upon her since birth. So let's talk about her. Let's talk about her strength, her struggles, and the battles she fights daily. Because to walk alone in this world as a woman is not easy. It takes courage, it takes faith, and it takes a heart that refuses to settle for less than it deserves. The strength of a woman who walks alone. There is a certain kind of strength that comes from walking alone. It is not the kind of strength that is given, but the kind that is earned. A woman who walks alone has had to face the world with nothing but her own will to survive. She has had to fight battles that no one saw, wipe tears that no one noticed, and push forward when everything inside her wanted to stop. This kind of strength cannot be taught in books. It cannot be handed down like an heirloom. It is forged in fire, built through pain, and refined through perseverance. People look at a woman who walks alone and assume she must be lonely, that she must be searching for something or someone to complete her. But they don't understand that she is already complete. She has built herself up, piece by piece, brick by brick, until she became the fortress that no storm could bring down. She has walked through fire, and instead of being consumed by it, she became the flame. Her strength is not in the absence of struggle, but in the way she faces it. She does not cower in the face of adversity. She does not wait for a hand to pull her up. She stands on her own, knowing that every step she takes alone is a step toward the life she was meant to live. And this strength, it makes people uncomfortable because it challenges the narrative that a woman must be dependent, that she must be protected, that she must be led. But she leads herself. She protects herself, and she depends on no one but the God who walks beside her and the fire that burns within her. They will call her stubborn. They will call her difficult. They will say she is too much, too strong, too independent. But she knows better. She knows that her strength is not a flaw, but a gift. And she will not apologize for it. So when you see a woman who walks alone, do not pity her. Do not assume she is waiting for something to change. Know that she is exactly where she is meant to be, walking her path on her terms with a strength that cannot be broken, breaking free from society's expectations. From the moment she was born, the world tried to put her in a box. It told her who she should be, how she should act, and what she should want. It told her that her value was tied to a man, that her purpose was found in marriage, that her destiny was to be someone's wife. But she knew deep down that she was meant for more. Breaking free from society's expectations was not easy. It meant facing judgment, it meant disappointing people, it meant walking away from traditions that tried to chain her to a life that did not fit her soul. It meant choosing herself over the opinions of others. And that takes courage. That takes a level of self-awareness that many never reach. People will look at a woman who refuses to conform and call her rebellious. They will say she is lost, that she is rejecting what is right and normal. But she is not lost. She is free. Free to build the life she wants, free to chase the dreams that set her heart on fire, free to define her own happiness. She does not need permission to be who she is. She does not need validation from those who refuse to understand her. She is living for herself, and that is the most powerful thing a woman can do. And make no mistake, she is not against love. She is not against companionship, but she refuses to settle for less than she deserves. She refuses to shrink herself to fit into someone else's story. If love comes, it must be on her terms, not as a necessity, but as a choice. So let them talk, let them wonder, let them question why she chooses to walk alone. She does not need their approval. She is walking in her truth, and that is enough. The power of independence and self-sufficiency. To be independent is to be powerful. It is to stand on your own 2 feet, to provide for yourself, to take control of your destiny. A woman who walks alone has learned the value of self-sufficiency. She has learned that she does not have to wait for someone to give her what she can earn on her own. She has built a life that does not rely on anyone else's presence to be complete. She has worked hard, struggled, and sacrificed to create stability for herself. She has learned skills that empower her, knowledge that strengthens her, and wisdom that guides her. She does not fear being alone because she knows that she is capable of taking care of herself. And that kind of power, it intimidates people. They are not used to seeing a woman who does not need saving. They do not understand how she can be content in her own company. But she knows that independence is not about rejecting others. It is about knowing that she is enough. She does not settle for less just to avoid being alone. She does not tolerate disrespect just to have company. She does not compromise her peace for the sake of fitting into a mold that was never made for her. Her independence is her crown. It is not something she wears to impress others, but something she carries with pride because she has earned it. Every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt that she overcame, it all led to this. So if you see a woman standing alone, know that she is not waiting for someone to complete her. She is already whole. She is walking her own path. And there is nothing more powerful than that. Overcoming loneliness and embracing solitude. People often mistake solitude for loneliness. They see a woman walking alone and assume she must be missing something, as if her life is incomplete without another by her side. But solitude is not a punishment. It is a privilege. It is in solitude that she learns who she truly is, beyond the expectations and opinions of others. A woman who walks alone understands that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness is an absence, a longing for something missing. Solitude is a presence, the presence of self-awareness, of peace. of a deeper connection with who she is and what she wants. She does not fill the silence with meaningless distractions. She does not run from the quiet. She embraces it because she knows that within it lies her power. There will be moments when the world tries to convince her that she needs someone, that her life is somehow less because she does not have a partner beside her. But she does not let that doubt take root. She knows that her happiness does not depend on another person. She does not need external validation to feel whole. She creates her own joy. She cultivates her own peace. She fills her days with purpose, her nights with dreams, and her life with meaning. She travels, she learns, she builds. She is constantly growing, constantly evolving. She finds fulfillment in her passions, in her work, in her experiences. She does not wait for life to happen to her. She goes out and lives it. And in the moments when loneliness does creep in, when the weight of solitude feels heavy, she reminds herself why she chose this path. She remembers that she is walking towards something greater, something deeper, something truer. She does not settle for temporary companionship just to escape the silence. She does not sacrifice her standards for the sake of filling a space. She waits, not because she is waiting for someone, but because she refuses to accept less than she deserves. So when you see a woman who walks alone, do not pity her. Do not assume she is lonely. She is not lost. She is not broken. She is exactly where she is meant to be, walking in her truth, embracing her solitude, and finding strength in the silence, leaving a legacy of strength and independence. A woman who walks alone does not just live for today. She walks with the weight of generations on her shoulders, knowing that every step she takes, every battle she fights, every barrier she breaks, it is not just for herself. It is for the women who came before her and the ones who will come after. She is the living proof that strength does not always come in numbers, that a woman does not need permission to be great, that her worth is not tied to who stands beside her, but to who she is when she stands alone. And because she walks, the world changes, little by little, moment by moment. Her legacy is not just in what she accomplishes, but in what she inspires in others. She may never see the full impact of her journey. She may never hear the stories of the young girl who chose to chase her dreams because she saw a woman stand boldly in her own truth. She may never know the lives she has touched simply by refusing to be anything other than who she was meant to be. But she does not walk for recognition. She does not stand tall for applause. She does it because it is who she is. Because she refuses to be anything less than what she was born to be. Because she knows that her strength is a light, and even if the world tries to dim it, she will continue to shine. Years from now, when people speak of her, they will not remember her for who she was with, but for what she stood for. They will not talk about who claimed her, but about how she claimed her own destiny. They will not define her by the love she received, but by the love she gave to herself, to her dreams, to the world around her. She leaves behind not just a life well lived, but a path well walked. A path that tells the next woman, the next daughter, the next sister, you do not have to follow. You do not have to conform. You do not have to fear walking alone. Because in your solitude, in your strength, in your unwavering resolve, you will find everything you need. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mark of a woman who walks alone. not in weakness, but in power, not in lack, but in abundance, not in waiting, but in knowing that she was never lost to begin with, facing judgment and standing tall. Judgment is inevitable. When a woman walks alone, people will talk. They will question her choices, criticize her independence, and try to make her feel as if she is wrong for not following the path they deem acceptable. But she does not let their words define her. She does not let their opinions shake her foundation. They will call her selfish, as if choosing herself is a sin. They will call her too strong, as if strength is a flaw. They will say she is difficult, not because she is, but because she refuses to conform. They will try to make her believe that she is making a mistake, that she will regret walking this path. But she knows better. She knows that people judge what they do not understand. They fear what they cannot control. And a woman who walks alone cannot be controlled. She is not bound by their expectations. She does not live for their approval. She does not exist to make others comfortable. Every time she faces judgment, she stands taller. She reminds herself that her journey is hers alone. She is not here to fit into someone else's mold. She is not here to shrink herself so others can feel big. She is here to be exactly who she was meant to be, unapologetic, unwavering, unstoppable. She does not explain herself to those who refuse to listen. She does not seek validation from those who will never understand. She walks forward, knowing that the only person she must answer to is herself. She measures her life not by the opinions of others, but by the peace in her heart and the purpose in her soul. And so, when the world judges her, she does not fight back with words. She fights back by continuing to live, to grow, to shine. She lets her success speak for itself. She lets her happiness be the loudest response. And she lets her presence, bold, undeniable, unshaken, be the proof that she needs no one's permission to be great. The journey of self-love and fulfillment. A woman who walks alone does not do so because she lacks love. She walks alone because she has learned to love herself first. And that kind of love, it is not easy. It does not come overnight. It is a journey, a process, a battle fought in the quiet moments when doubt tries to creep in. She has had to unlearn everything she was taught about her worth being tied to someone else. She has had to dismantle the belief that she is incomplete without a partner. She has had to rebuild herself, brick by brick, into a woman who knows her value, independent of who chooses to see it. Self-love is not just about affirmations and confidence. It is about knowing what she deserves and refusing to accept less. It is about setting boundaries and enforcing them. It is about walking away from anything and anyone that does not align with her peace, her purpose, her truth. And self-love is not selfish. It does not mean she does not care for others. It means she refuses to abandon herself in the process. She is not willing to lose herself to be loved by someone else. If love comes, it must come in addition to her joy, not at the cost of it. She finds fulfillment in who she is, not in what the world tells her she should be. She does not need to be saved because she was never lost. She does not need to be completed because she was never broken. She does not need to be chosen because she has already chosen herself. So she walks not in search of love, but in the fullness of it. The love she has for herself, the love she pours into her dreams, the love she gives to the world without depleting herself. And that kind of love, it is the most powerful force there is, inspiring others through her walk. A woman who walks alone does not just walk for herself. Whether she knows it or not, she is paving the way for others. She is showing the women who come after her that they too can stand tall, that they too can choose themselves, that they too are enough. She is the woman they whisper about, the one they cannot ignore. Some admire her, some envy her, some fear her, but no one forgets her. Because she is a force, she is proof that a woman does not have to follow the path laid out for her, she can create her own. And in her strength, she gives others permission to be strong. In her confidence, she gives others permission to believe in themselves. In her courage, she gives others permission to walk their own path, even if it means walking alone. She does not seek to inspire, she simply lives her truth. But in doing so, she lights a fire in those who see her. She reminds them that they do not have to settle, that they do not have to conform, that they do not have to be afraid of standing alone. Because she walks, others learn to walk. Because she refuses to bow, others find the strength to rise. Because she chooses herself, others realize that they too are worth choosing. She is not just one woman walking alone, she is a movement, a revolution, a testament to the power of a woman who knows her worth. A woman who walks alone is not weak. She is not incomplete. She is not searching for something outside of herself to make her whole. She is already whole. She is powerful. She is unstoppable. Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them misunderstand. She will not change to make them comfortable. She will not shrink to fit their mold. She will not stop walking. Because she knows that her strength is in her steps, her power is in her presence, and her worth, it was never up for debate.